we're going to kick it off with Ahmad, Khalil, who's going to talk about AI ops and AI empower provisioning. So Ahmad, if you can come and join us there. Thank you.
All right. Okay, everybody's tired today. Last day, maybe for the GNE. We're back. We're going to talk about AI, but as many of you know, it's a slightly different take on the AI. Not about the agent collecting the data and then you do the prediction. It's more on augmenting your AI domain knowledge with RAG. With me here, we have our two partners between Tata, NTT, and Amartus, Yuta. He's a solution architect at NTT, and Jakub is a technical leader at Amartus. So I'm going to start with the concept. We started like back in Miami. We had a POC. We won yesterday. Yay! And then like Yuta will go through some of the work they're done. Amartus, Jakub will go through some of the work, and then we'll go back to the outcome, lesson learned, what we learned from that incubation project. So just to tie things together, because I know some of you don't have the background, so our concept is simple. Like, we have this how to enhance the output of existing LLM. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I'm not competing with OpenAI, ChatGPT. How to enhance the LLM with the knowledge of my network. And remember, data sensitivity is an issue. I don't want to share that with anybody. I want to have it on my own network, but I cannot afford to retrain an entire LLM model, right? So of course, we collect domain data, we augment a pre-existing LLM, we deploy that on our premise, and then we see how can we enhance LLM to our advantage, to our use cases. And we want to put this, so that is the glue of why we came together as a three company to work on this project. The RAG, basically just augmenting the pre-trained LLM. And then how this fit into the NaaS platform, we were thinking to have a fully NaaS platform, you have to take care of the day 0, day 1, day 2, and beyond, right? So you want to be able to provision on demand, but do you need to put your expert or engineer to do that, or can you replace that with this NaaS empowered LLM platform, right? Do you want to troubleshoot, right? If you want to hire all these expert engineer who knows the domain and you want them to troubleshoot, of course, we can't all afford that. Can I replace this with LLM? Again, can I replace it with ChatGPT? Yes, but you still need the prompt engineering driven by an expertise within your company. So we try to remove this. And you can see these are obvious reduction. It's of OpEx, right? But beyond that, can I extend this to my customer? So I don't want to share my knowledge or domain data to my customer, but if I could build this assistant and I give them access and I augment their knowledge with my domain without them having detail of my domain, maybe that's something could bring some business value, like added feature, day 2 feature, right? Can I also ask them to self-provision, right? Self-troubleshoot, all that stuff without needing to share that information with them. So we're taking the approach of the NaaS fully automated platform empowered by AI, Gen AI, RAG approach. I'm going to hand it over to Yuta to talk about day 0. Yuta, please.
Okay. As he mentioned, I'm trying to share our perspective day 1. In the past, we had to fill out the forms like Excel for network operations or like network ordering, detailing the necessary information, and also we had to send them to operators, and operators handled the order through OSS, BSS systems, and it took several days for network operations and ordering. However, with an advent of NaaS, the end users can self-manage their own networks, and now it takes a few minutes for network operations. It got much better, it got much useful. But now we are thinking we can make it much better. So can you go next slide? Yep, this is our blueprint of for provisioning of day one. While NaaS made network operations better, we are envisioning an evolution of NaaS by integrating generative AI on NaaS. To talk to chatbot, the end users can now provision the networks on NaaS, like VPNs or like VPNs. So now in cloud services, the end users can create the VM and also generate the comments for service creation. But we aim to implement this on NaaS as well. Then the end users will be able to order VPNs on NaaS interactively. Yep. Can you go next slide?
Can I take it? Okay, and the second use case that we were working on was troubleshooting, right? As Ahmad mentioned before, we focused on AI ops, and I would like to start from some technical stuff around that, as we both with Tata Communications developed somehow similar solution and troubleshooting agent, but we wanted to do a thorough research, broad research, and see how different technologies fits better, how the other not. So as on the right-hand side, you see the table with the differences on our stack. We use different LLMs. We use different graph solutions to keep the network topology. We've done that on the different networks, and but we had the same base, same framework, launching framework, using different ways of applying that approach. Either just using single agent or multi-agent for better reasoning. And I will go over the flow, how it works right now. So basically, imagine you're a network engineer, inexperienced network engineer, and you can interact with such a tool by by querying it, sending question like usually you do in a chat. Then behind the scenes, our engine is running different diagnostics tools, can access devices, can perform any checks, and produce nice output for you. First of all, it calculates, for example, the path between the devices, knowing the fact that the network is constructed in such a way. And the analysis is, after the analysis is done, it gives you the output. And the second agent takes place from this point and gives you analysis and conclusions, what might be wrong in the network, what you should do, and recommend the changes, recommend any actions that the network engineer should take. So we've got the network engineer expert in our team when we were developing that to validate if that is something usable or not. And he said, guys, I was working in NOC before I joined Amartus, and if I could do something like that, if I had such a tool, I could spend much more time on coffee breaks. Yeah. And the second thing, the second topic I want to touch a bit here is to show you, on the left-hand side, you see nice picture of the interaction between different data sources. Different data sources come into play and are feeding our engine so that it answers the result of the analysis is better, right? So integrating all that sources in such a manner that really you got the valuable input. This is somehow difficult. You have to train. You have to provide tools, train your solution so that you actually not get much hallucinations coming out of the solution. There's also a lot of domain-specific knowledge, right? Networking has different vendors, different topologies, different network devices. All LLMs like OpenAI GPT, like Llama, like other open source, they've got some knowledge building, but usually you have to augment it. So this is where RAG comes into play. Also, you can see potential issues with security, with data privacy, right? With models like GPT, which are closed source, you have to send something there, so you might be worried, okay, will it be safe with us? So that's why, for example, Tata Communications, Ahmad's team, developed a solution using Llama from Meta. And the last thing I want to mention here is the system evaluation itself. You know, the answers coming from AI solutions might differ. This has probabilistic and unpredictable nature, so you have to be very careful, and you have to have experienced team to evaluate the results and see if actually it can help or do the opposite. And as part of our work in Amartus, we try to see how can we overcome these topics. Also, Tata and Ahmad and the team did it on the different stack, so we managed to find a balance between different edges. Yeah, I'll pass it over to Ahmad again.
All right, so why we did this? Obviously, this is incubation project, right? We just decided to work as a community, right? To figure out things. Again, this is a slightly different approach from probably a lot of people talking about AI, right? Driven by the sensitivity of the data, the lack of data. I don't have a lot of data to use to do prediction. But if I manage a network, I have the network. I have how the network is designed, right? So we decided to do this experiment. Hopefully, we bring to the fold more company from the community to work together and create that ecosystem. Of course, we should not forget in previous panel they were talking about the GPU. That's that hardware part of the ecosystem, but I think there's a monopoly on that. So it's one we all use. I had to buy the NVIDIA. It was not easy to get that also because of the supply chain. So that ecosystem we're trying to build between the service provider, right, the technology leader, or the integrator, right? I mean, yes, we are three companies, but we wear multiple hats. Like Amartus wore the hat of an integrator, as they do well, like all these years, with the tooling and all that conventional tools. plus building a different stack. At Tata, we also wear two hats, like, as a domain provider, service provider, and also we build our own stack as a vendor as well. Same as NTT, they had their own domain, which is slightly different, talking about the cloud and their private and public, and also as well as a technology vendor. So yes, we're three company, but we're trying to cover all the player of that ecosystem that you need to make this successful, right? So that's one part. And then we came up with some outcome, like, we're learning together, right? One of the outcome is we realized there's certain capability of these LLM, right? We tried different Llama model, it was not as good, right? Yes, ChatGPT is more powerful, but do I need all that compute or all that knowledge? Like, they're trying to solve the entire universe world. Is there any model that is only related to the network? If yes, why do I have to deal with LLM that knows everything about clothes, about everything? I don't need that, right? But then also we learned, like, through this experiment, I don't need to use LLM all the time. I use it where it excels, like natural language, but there's a lot of tool we have, like from traceroute to ping to Pathfinder, all that stuff. I should not forget. So this is the stuff maybe I could use because it's at my disposal. Again, here you have the traditional integration of those tools into your tool, right? And also we learned, probably this is expected, you cannot do it from AI point of view. Like, I cannot just hire data scientists to work on this. I need my network expertise, right? Because remember, you could solve this problem by having your network expert prompt engineer ChatGPT, for instance, and okay, solve the problem, but then you need that expertise. In order to model this and to code this, the data scientist has to work with the network expert to put that into the model. Otherwise, they don't know how to do it. You need the network expertise to verify what is correct. I mean, is this good, what we just did? I mean, okay, if a data scientist just look at it, okay, this is good. By why this is good? Did I solve the problem in a more efficient way? So all that is needed as well, part of this, if we want to work on that. And of course, we need to make sure that we establish a base, maybe, on all those findings, on all those lessons learned. We set up probably best in practice, like approach, maybe, and then come different use cases. Maybe different company have a different use cases. They have a different data that at their disposal to work with. So we're gonna work as a community to solve that problem, probably, right? So what is the next step? Obviously, it's obvious. Next step, more participant. This is why we are here. More participant, more thinking outside the box. What we are basically restricted with what we did, but somebody could come with a different, fresh idea. So we need more participant, right? And how we deal with this data issue. I mean, different people, they might have different proposals. So yes, please, if you're interested, we welcome everybody to join. Again, this is started as accelerator. POC is like on the side, but the accelerator, it's year-long, multi-year long, right? And let's try to target multiple domain. We tried to did like a cloud domain, network domain, maybe other domain might be more interesting to look into, and the outcome could be different from those domains. And again, so next step is a full closed loop NaaS platform, we said, right? It's an incubation project. We did the day one, some of the day two, right? But as I said earlier, we could enable user to manage their own platform. We could enable user to troubleshoot their own platform. I think someone was saying full autonomous system, like you don't even need to intervene. I mean, imagine now you add to this the agent to collect data, and then based on those data, you could trigger the assistant to do whatever you want them to do, right? Hands off everything, right? That is what we think we should do, and we will try to do next step, right? And again, with that comes the business benefit from reduction of the OpEx, as we probably assume when you replace the expertise with just tool and like not expert, human engineer maybe, to the new services you could try to sell and monetize by adding day 2 feature, right? So this is basically where we see the project going and the ecosystem evolving, hopefully in the next coming years. With that, I conclude. I don't know if there's any question. We're not a panel, we're not a presentation, but maybe if there's some question we could answer. If not, we could talk during the networking break. Okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.